Good morning, everyone. It's so good to see all of your faces here this morning. It was a wonderful turnout for Fellowship Voices this morning. I wish we could hear you singing during these holiday times. I have a great imagination and I can imagine your voices in the room with us. As we begin our service this morning, I'd like to remind you to please mute yourselves. We have a lot of beautiful music this morning, and by remaining muted, except for during milestones, you'll improve the listening experience for yourself and for everyone else. So I'm going to bring the screen share up now, and we will begin. This morning, I'm glad it's a real pleasure to introduce you to Matthew Pargeter-Villareal. And he is a recent Master of Divinity graduate from Bright Divinity School in Fort Worth, Texas, with a concentration in sexual and gender justice. He is a candidate for ministry with the UUA and has also served as a chaplain at Baylor All Saints Medical Center in Fort Worth. Matthew and his husband, Gabriel, are currently living in Comfort. That's the name of the town. I hope they are also living in Comfort. But that's an interesting connection. I also did my clinical pastoral education in Fort Worth, but at the Samaritan House. Before we begin this morning, I would like to remind you that our Christmas Eve service is at 5 o'clock on Thursday. And even though we're not meeting together in Fellowship Hall, we will be doing a virtual traditional candle lighting. So have a candle and some water nearby just in case. And if you are living in a residential place that does not allow open flame and you would like one of our battery candles for the service, please let me know after the service and I'll deliver one to you tomorrow. With that, it's a pleasure to be with you, and I'll introduce Melissa Neeson, who will do our board welcome today.
Thank you. My name is Melissa Neeson and I serve on your Fellowship Board of Directors. Thank you for everyone for attending the annual meeting last week. It really was a great turnout. Kind of a different type of annual meeting, but I think it really went well. And I want to especially thank those who are stepping up to new leadership positions for this next year, especially to Sarah Carlson for her leadership as president this year, and to our next two leaders, Angie Poole and Carol Spencer. We have a few special seasonal activities this upcoming week. We have a solstice celebration on Monday at 7. And as Kent mentioned, the Christmas Eve service Thursday at 5. So don't get those times mixed up and get them backwards, you'll miss out. There's also plenty of opportunity to still decorate an ornament for our outdoor display. You can pick those up at the fellowship and return them when you're done. I want to give a special welcome today to our guests. If you're able, we'd love it if you could consider sticking around after the service when we'll have the opportunity to break out into smaller groups. It's really a great time to get to know each other better. Also, of course, many thanks to Matthew Pargeter-Villareal for joining us today. And so on behalf of this caring, nurturing congregation, I welcome you to this sacred space. Here we live into our mission of growing spiritually, creating community, striving for justice, and learning to love. Here you will be challenged, supported, and loved. Thank you for being here.
Each week, we begin our service with the ringing of our chime 3 times. Once to wake the chime, once to open our minds, and once to open our hearts.
In the world of the driven, let us be drawn in. Let your love be a given, let us be drawn in. To imagine, to dream, to create, to redeem, for the sake of the living, let us be drawn in.
Our chalice lighting is by David Breen. In this holiday season, throughout the year to come, and always in our lives, may we know that we are loved. May we share the love we have, and may we be the love we wish to see.
In the world of the driven, let us be drawn in. Let your love be a given, let us be drawn in. To imagine, to dream, to create, to redeem, for the sake of the living, let us be drawn in.
Good morning again, everyone. So there will be a lot of music in this service, and the first musical offering that we have is entitled The Christmas Can-Can by a group called Street No Chaser. They are members of a men's glee club that was started at Indiana University a number of years ago, and they still get together and still continue performing. I hope you enjoyed this. This is one of my favorites.
I put the challenge out to the Fellowship Voices to sing that for our Christmas service next year. This month, our December offertory recipient is KHOI 89.1 FM. And whenever I tune in to KHOI, I always imagine people from this fellowship who were instrumental in founding it and instrumental in providing the program that we love to hear. This is the last opportunity. No, there's one more. Please, I look forward to seeing your generosity and supporting this very important part of our community, which you can make your offering at the end of the service by going to our website on the Give page. Thank you again for your generosity. And don't forget to tune in and hear some of your friends from this community on the airwaves. As Melissa said, the ornament project for the winter continues. And here's a picture that was taken recently of the lights that Bradley put up and the ornaments that are up. There's room for lots more on the trellis, and in the little basket on the bench, you can pick up an ornament, take home, decorate it, and bring it back. All of the hangings and things you need to do that are in the box. Here's the Todd family hanging their ornament, and you can see it is a lovely blue one that has some specific symbols. And Nancy Tepper sent me these beautiful pictures that she took last night. Thank you, Nancy. These are lovely. You can be part of this celebration.
Our next musical offering, our meditative music, is entitled I Could by Jaime Ramirez. Jaime is a friend of mine. He is also the accompanist at First UU in San Antonio. He's also a singer-songwriter, composer, multi-instrumentalist who recently released his debut CD in 2020. This is a selection from that CD called Underscored. Our time for all ages today is one of my favorites. It is entitled A Unicorn Named Sparkle, written and illustrated by Amy Young. The ad said, unicorn, 25 cents. Lucy sent in the money. She could hardly wait. I will name it Sparkle. He will be blue with a pink tail and a pink mane. A whole day passed. I will put flowers around his neck. He will let me ride on his back. Another day passed. I will take him to show and tell. Everyone will love him. He might be scared when he first gets here. I will give him a cupcake. Sparkle, Sparkle, where are you? Finally, a big truck rumbled up. It was the Unicorn Man. He left a large box on the porch. It's Sparkle. Lucy opened the box carefully, gently. Chomp! The cupcake was gone. Sparkle, come back! Sparkle, not the underpants. No. He was not what she expected. He had spots. His ears were too long. He smelled funny. Oh, and he had fleas. Lucy put a flower necklace on him. He ate it. She put a tutu on him. He ate that too. He did not want to be ridden. He bucked her right off. He did not want to go to show and tell. And when he got there, he behaved poorly. Lucy was mad. You are a bad unicorn. She walked away. Sparkle followed her. Stop that! Lucy called the Unicorn Man. Take him back. I don't want him. Okay, but I can't get there until tomorrow. Lucy could hardly wait. Leave me alone. Yuck. That night, there was a storm. Sparkle was afraid. Lucy gave him Bear so he would stop pestering her. It wasn't enough. She had to read him a bedtime story too, and give him warm milk to drink. He licked her hand. She patted his head and said, "Don't be such a big baby." His fur was very soft. At last, he fell asleep. The next morning, Lucy watched Sparkle play in the yard. He liked the butterflies, and they liked him. Some boys came by and asked, "What's your goat's name?" "His name is Sparkle, and he is not a goat." "He looks like a goat." "Well, he is not a goat. He's a special kind of unicorn." After the boys left, Lucy watched Sparkle play some more. She had to admit, sometimes he made her smile, and sometimes he made her laugh. The Unicorn Man drove up. Okay, let's load him in. Sparkle did not want to get into the box. Lucy put a cupcake in the far corner. Sparkle loved cupcakes, so he went in. Lucy shut the door. Sparkle asked, "Bleh?" The Unicorn Man revved his engine and drove away. Lucy yelled, "Wait!" Sparkle bleated, "Bah!" The truck stopped. Lucy opened the box and Sparkle jumped out. He was so excited that he knocked her down by mistake. Sparkle, said Lucy. Welcome home. Our next musical offering is hymn number 1002 from the Teal Hymnal, Comfort Me by Mimi Bornstein, played and sung by Linley Wong from Star King UU Church.
Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Speak for me, speak for me, speak for me, oh my soul. Speak for me, speak for me, speak for me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul.
Good morning. I'm Amy Slagle, and our first reading this morning comes to us by Erika Hewitt. It's titled, First Comes the Waiting. A small evergreen tree next to a bowl holding 4 purple candles and a small gold star. This is the season of endings and beginnings, when the small signs of dawn pierce through the night and something new is born. But first comes the waiting. First come the lessons of endings and beginnings. The presence of life, the sheltering spirit of love grieves with those sweeping up the debris of loss, waits with those who restlessly reach out for change, grants us courage in the night to guard each other's dreams for this holy, wondrous universe. Grant us, O universe unfolding in mystery, a sense of your timing. May we loosen our grip on that which doesn't serve us, leaving behind that which we have outworn and outgrown. Teach us the lessons of beginnings. Remind us that such waitings and endings may be a starting place, a planting of seeds which bring to birth what is ready to be born, something right and just and different, a new song, a deeper relationship, a fuller love, in the fullness of time.
Each week, we take time and find comfort in the sharing of milestones in our lives, significant things that give us joy or challenge or gratitude. As I open the screen to sharing, please be mindful that with the time lag, it's possible to overlap. So give each other space and introduce yourself, share your milestone, and let us know when you're done by saying, thank you for listening. This is our time of sharing.
This is Irv Kloss. I'd like to give a shout out to Zoom. It is Zoom that enables us to continue these services all summer and in the fall and winter. And think of all of the greenhouse gas emissions that we have saved by not driving. And have guest ministers such as Matt come from a way off without having to drive. I also meet with my 3 kids every Saturday morning and talk to them. And they live at distant places. So technology that we have with Zoom is unbelievable. And I appreciate it. Thank you.
My name is Allison Brundy. Can you hear me? Okay, good. This is my first time sharing a milestone here. And I wanted to just share that the city of Ames recently voted unanimously to continue their progress towards creating an Ames Climate Action Plan. And it's a long process. Each step along the way is a step though. And this is a small step where they agreed to send out the request for proposals to hire a consultant. And that small step of agreeing to continue looking to hire someone should begin after the new year in January. And then they hope to launch the community engagement, public participation piece in April. So that's an exciting moment. Even though it's just a small step, it's a step. Thank you.
My name is Kim Ayers. I used to be a regular member of Hi, Kent. I saw your face light up. I used to be a regular member of UUFA until I moved away from Ames. I live in Montana currently, but with Zoom, I've been able to, I swing by every once in a while. I hope that's okay. For me, my milestone, so about a year ago, my father was in a bike accident where he became a quadriplegic. And this past week, he was hospitalized with a pulmonary edema. So he's in the ICU. It looks like he may not need surgery, but you know, with COVID and obviously his disability, it makes everything more complicated. So I just, you know, if you're able to keep him in your thoughts, I would really appreciate that. Thank you for listening.
My name is Ria Keinert. This last Thursday, I completed a 6-week program in learning how to work in manufacturing of all things. It was what they call a wraparound program. I was fortunate to get a full ride, including a computer, and if I needed a transportation or a hotspot or I learned how to drive a forklift. I learned about OSHA. I learned about how to work tools. Anyway, it was very empowering, and it was mostly women. It was just 11 of us. And so now I'm going to try to find a job, and we'll see how that goes. But in any case, I'm super grateful because I had to write a grant. It was a big a big the United Way, a lot of different people got together on it. And I just really felt cared for in a time where I haven't felt that for a while. And so that felt good on a lot of different levels. Thank you for listening.
I have a milestone. Can you hear me? This is Kay Berger. I don't see my picture here. My sister, my twin sister, was diagnosed with cancer of the lymph nodes this week. And so my other sister and I have gone through some sadness about this. She will go to the doctor and decide if she wants treatment or not. I expect that she will not, but she's not in pain. And for that, we are very grateful. So that's just one of the sad things that you go through. We're both 83, and I seem to be healthy. And so we'll see her through. My sadness comes that I can't visit her. She's in Lincoln, Nebraska, but she does have her family and my younger sister there to care for her. So she is in assisted living, so she is being cared for. Thank you very much.
For all those milestones that have been spoken aloud, and for whatever you carry silently in your heart today. We take a moment of silence together, knowing that in this community, no one ever needs to make the journey alone, and that you are loved. It is good to be together. Traditionally, the Advent wreath is used to mark the Sundays until Christmas, with gradually increasing light. Each week, a new flame is lit to represent light banishing darkness. This year, however, we're doing something different. Darkness is as important as light. The cold dark of winter is as important to life as the bright warmth of summer. So this year, we're doing a reverse Advent wreath. We begin with all the candles lit and extinguish another flame each week until gradually we enter into the full darkness. This is the fourth week of Advent. Today, we give thanks for the darkness of not knowing. There is so much we can never understand. There are so many questions we are afraid to ask. Let us not be afraid of the blackness of mystery, the beautiful black of the universe that births the stars, the darkness of the womb as life prepares to be born, the dark winter that must exist for there to be spring. May we be blessed by the blackness of not knowing.
Our next musical offering is number 1064 from the Teal Hymnal, is Blue Boat Home by Peter Mayer.
Low below me, I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean. Still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now. Never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. Give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. Wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
This is Kent McCusick, and our next reading this morning is called An Adequate Christmas by Jake Morrill. David Sedaris writes in the Santaland Diaries, this entry. November 29, 2017. On a busy day, 22,000 people come to visit Santa. And I was told that it is an elf's lot to remain merry in the face of torment and adversity. I promised to keep that in mind. An assortment of brightly colored holiday sweaters in profile, lined up as they hang together. You ever read those magazine articles about how to survive Christmas? As if Christmas were some kind of endurance event? To me, that all seems just a little extreme. Then again, it can come from the other side too. All those jangling jingle bells with people wanting to put a wildly ugly Christmas sweater on you, and all of the forced merriment. Maybe that's not where you're at either. What if it wasn't only a choice between misery or merry? What about a third option, an adequate Christmas? An adequate Christmas would have you calm and open, taking it in, accepting whatever is. Pique your interest? Here are 3 things that could help. 1, notice those behaviors that you tend to do when you're wound up too tight. Could be overeating, could be drinking too much, could be picking fights with family members. Just choose one behavior you know you've got in you. Don't need to change it. Just try to notice and see what happens. 2, say out loud what you want. Nobody can read your mind, right? People aren't magic. So if you've got a particular expectations for the holiday season, say them out loud. Say, I'd like to do this. I'd like to go there, or I really don't want to do this. With what you want on the table, it's easier for everybody to figure out what to do. I got that from my friend Carrie Conti. 3, this last one's a doozy. Ready? Treat the holidays as sacred time. Turn your attention toward tradition, towards spiritual practice, towards encountering and welcoming God like you haven't before. Slow it all down like you might be in some way attuned to the pace of the eternal. If you need, you can fake it at first. Can I promise these things would bring a wonderful Christmas? Well, no. But maybe this year it could be adequate. God of creation, bless our becoming with grace enough that we can laugh at ourselves, our hearts glad for the sufficiency of the days we've been given. Amen.
Our final reading today is a poem titled A Blessing for Traveling in the Dark by Jan Richardson. A night sky with a band of stars. Go slowly if you can, slower, more slowly still. Friendly, dark, or fearsome, this is no place to break your neck by rushing, by running, by crashing into what you cannot see. Then again, it is true. Different darks have different tasks. And if you have arrived here unawares, if you have come in peril or in pain, this might be no place you should dawdle. I do not know what these shadows ask of you, what they might hold that means you good or ill. It is not for me to reckon whether you should linger or you should leave. But this is what I can ask for you, that in the darkness there be a blessing, that in the shadows there be a welcome, that in the night you be encompassed by the love that knows your name.
Next musical offering is number 311 from the Gray Hymnal, Let It Be a Dance, written by Rick Maston and covered by Les Tacey.
Let it be a dance we do May I have this dance with you, through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance, let a dancing song be heard. Play the music, say the words, and fill the sky with sailing birds. Let it be a dance, let it be a dance, let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel the rhythm, feel the need. To reap the harvest, plant the seed. And let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you, through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Everybody turn and spin. Let your body learn to bend. And like a willow in the wind, let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. A child is born, the old must die. A time for joy, a time to cry. Take it as it passes by. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you, through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Morning stars come out at night. Without the dark there is no light. If nothing's wrong, then nothing's right. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let the sun shine, let it rain. Share the laughter, bear the pain. And round we go again. Let it be a dance.
I remember thinking at the beginning of March, as I was working as a chaplain at Baylor All Saints Medical Center, we began to see a steady rise in the number of COVID-19 cases in the hospitals, and businesses began asking their employees to stay at home and shelter in place, that it was only a month before Easter Sunday. At the time, I remember thinking to myself, maybe if we can just hang on and do what we need to do to stay safe for a few weeks, everything will calm down and be under control by Easter. And we can truly have a celebration at that time that will mean even more to us. Of course, it has now been several months of sheltering in place, and things have arguably only gotten worse. In spite of businesses insisting on opening up and trying to return back to some semblance of normalcy, COVID-19 has not gone away and has claimed over 300,000 lives in the United States alone. It has disrupted and changed our way of life in profound ways that none of us could have ever expected. My friends and colleagues throw around the phrase the new normal, recognizing the fact that nothing may ever go back to being the normal that we once knew. Even the optimist in me has trouble staying optimistic most days. Yet, the more the year goes on, the more I find myself getting ever hopeful. I am almost ashamed to admit it, but my reasons for this otherworldly sense of optimism are simple. It is almost Christmas. I love holidays. I am that weird person that has every major holiday marked out on their calendar and gets progressively more and more excited the closer that we get to whatever holiday is coming next. I have such a love of holidays that I have even created my own just so that I have something to look forward to. Yes, I had the day that Starbucks started serving the pumpkin spice latte in the calendar of my phone, August 28th, 2020, in case anyone's curious. But of all the holidays and celebrations of the year, there is none bigger and none that I expect more than Christmas. I do not know exactly when my love affair with Christmas began or why it rules over all other holidays in my mind. Perhaps it is the fact that my ADHD is joyfully overstimulated from houses and businesses decked out in lights and tinsel, and Christmas music piped nonstop over loudspeakers. Perhaps it is the fact that there is an endless flurry of holiday baking that takes place, including many of the unique British traditions like mince pies and Christmas pudding that reminds me of my heritage. But despite what the stores at the mall will tell you about how there are only so many shopping days left until that fateful morning when you unwrap presents under the Christmas tree, there has always been an existential sense of peace that comes with the holiday season that I look forward to every year. It is as if for just a brief moment, there is a pause where we get to look back on all of the events of the year that has taken place, and we get to take a much needed deep breath. It is almost like we are getting the chance to say, look at everything that has happened this year. Look at everything that I have gotten through. At that point, the holidays become our much needed release, a chance to relax and give ourselves a moment of long overdue celebration as we close out the year and prepare ourselves for what is to come in the next year. However, I am admittedly a little bit more anxious than usual at the thought of Christmas this year. It feels like a giant question mark that looms on the horizon that fills me with uncertainty. I am usually one who is happy to embrace and live in the mystery of things, but COVID-19 has exhausted my patience with having to do that. My hope was that by the time that we got to December, that things would have subsided and that we would at least be able to go back to socializing and seeing each other in person, if nothing else. But all of the activities that I look forward to around the holiday season, walking around the stores, doing Christmas shopping, going to look at Christmas lights, listening to carolers singing, are all still considered to be risky behaviors. Even the holidays that I so look forward to are going to be completely changed as a result of the new normal. And I would be lying if I said that I was not already feeling sad and defeated because of it. With all of these feelings going on in the back of my mind, I came across Reverend Jake Morrell's An Adequate Christmas Reading while looking for readings for another sermon in another service. Even though he wrote the reading back in 2017, the sentiment behind the words speaks very much to the uncertainty about the holidays that is going on today. I even chuckled to myself as I read the title, thinking to myself that an adequate Christmas was going to be the best that we could hope for in a time of global pandemic. But the more I read Reverend Jake's reflection, the more that I come to the realization that spending the holidays with family can be a stressful undertaking even in the best of circumstances. This is especially true for those in the LGBTQIA+ community who are coming home to families after coming out and figuring out who they are, only to return to being misgendered and misidentified by those that they love and from whom they are seeking approval. Our political climate has succeeded in polarizing family members that voted for different candidates so much that we cannot even find enough common ground to sit at the same dinner table with each other, even if it is for just an evening. As much as I may need a little Christmas right this very minute and look forward to it as a joyous celebration and culmination of the year, for others, it is truly an endurance event, one that many people look forward to just getting through. Yet in this time of COVID-19, We have all been reminded of the necessity to take every day that we are given and to make the most of it, because we do not know if this next day will be our last, as echoed by the prayer at the end of the reading. So there is a natural desire this year for closeness and connection leading into this holiday season, however socially distanced it may need to be. While I believe that Reverend Jake's recommendations are a good start for thinking about how to get through the holidays and have an adequate Christmas, I think that there are a few suggestions that I would add that pertain to the holidays in this particular year. The first recommendation that he makes: notice those behaviors that you tend to do when you are wound up too tight, is one I feel like we hear about this time every year and are very quick to brush off and disregard. We know our own quirks and idiosyncrasies and can tell you all of the ones of our respective family members, but we too often dismiss them as, oh, that's just how I, or insert relative's name here, is. You know how I, he, she, they get sometimes. I feel like, while this may have been something that was easy to overlook in pre-pandemic times, it is a lot harder with a webcam shoved in your face and everyone on Zoom being able to see your every facial expression. When I was doing CPE at Baylor All Saints Medical Center, one of the parts of our classroom time was something called IPR. The idea of IPR was for all of the chaplains to sit in a circle facing each other, and as we were having conversation about whatever situation or topic, to notice the particular expressions or behaviors of the individuals in the circle. If there was something that was particularly noticeable, we were invited to speak up and ask the person in the circle about the behavior and ask questions to understand the feeling or emotions that were going on behind the behavior. The idea was to give an outside perspective to the person so that they could be aware of things that they were doing that they were not even aware of that, or may possibly be communicating something completely different than what they were intending. Now, while I do not suggest that this is the best thing to try to do with family members this holiday season, the reality is that in trying to gather on Zoom, we can not only see everyone else's behaviors, but, assuming that the camera is turned on and our connection is good, we are able to see our own behaviors reflected back at us in the gallery view. And if we can see it and be made aware of it, it can be assumed that everyone else on the call can see it and is aware of it as well, although they may not say anything about it. Perhaps Reverend Jake's invitation to take one particular behavior that we are aware of and focus on it can be used as a mindfulness practice for this holiday season in hopes of alleviating much of the holiday stress that can build up at this time of year. The second recommendation, say out loud what you want, is often easier said than done most of the time. This is especially true for my family in particular. Growing up, I used to think that my family never, the fact that my family never really fought was something to be proud of. I would hear stories from my friends about fights between relatives, especially during the holidays, and think to myself, phew, I'm glad my family is not like that. We usually all get along. What I did not realize until later on was that in order to avoid not getting into fights between each other, my family would do the very British thing of internalizing and suppressing all of their feelings. While this did make family gatherings go smoothly when we were all together in person, it often resulted in hurt feelings that often went unresolved or unnoticed, or feelings that were so bottled up that they had nowhere to go. Reverend Jake's recommendation is to speak up and set the intention and the expectation of what you are wanting or looking to have happen at the beginning of the time you spend together. This can be especially important for those of us introducing a new romantic partner to the family for the first time, even more so if they are the same gender romantic partner in a newly established queer relationship. We are trying to reconcile those that we love and those that have nurtured us with those that we are choosing to hopefully spend our future lives with. Because they are someone that we care about and someone who we are looking to spend at least a part of our lives with, we owe it to them to push through the discomfort and say to our families, this is someone who is important to me. This is someone that I would ask you to treat with respect, because disrespecting them is showing me disrespect as well. It doesn't have to be those exact words, And it's not saying that there will not be microaggressions and misunderstandings along the way, but it is a way to step into our own and invite our families to truly see us and embrace us for the people that we are, which will always make the holidays a little easier and a little brighter. Finally, the last recommendation: treat the holidays as sacred time. Here, I would reward this a little bit to say something along the lines of, it's all about intention, and don't leave yourself out in the cold this holiday season. I'm going to go out on a limb and make a guess that we are all suffering from some form of PTSD as a result of something related to COVID-19. It is fairly safe to say that we need a little of the magic of Christmas this year to regain some of the sanity that we have lost. If you hear nothing else from my sermon today, please hear this. Take the time to do what you need for you. One of the definitions of the word sacred is regarded with great respect and reverence by a particular religion, group, or individual. We all have small and seemingly insignificant things associated with the holidays that are of importance to us that grow exponentially in importance the closer that we get to the actual date of the holidays. One of those ones for me, besides baking up a storm, is taking the time to stop and watch the list of quintessential holiday movies that I have amassed over the years. These include the classics like It's a Wonderful Life and Miracle on 34th Street, and more modern favorites like Elf, Love Actually, and all of the cheesy freeform and Hallmark holiday movies whose basic storyline is all the same. Another one is finding that one radio station, and there is always one in every part of the country if you look hard enough, that starts playing Christmas music starting on December 1st and having it playing as the background music to my holiday season. Even though COVID-19 has thrown everything up in the air and into the realm of uncertainty, we have more control of regaining normalcy than we might think. It is imperative that we do not lose and completely abandon the things that bring us much needed joy. Taking the time to stop and watch a Christmas movie or dance and sing along to a Christmas song may just be the moment that you need to take a deep breath and tell ourselves that things will be okay and that we have the strength to keep going. Do not give this pandemic the satisfaction of giving up on all of the things that bring you joy this holiday season. If anything, let your joy be your form of protest, and let that joy still be present this holiday season, in spite of how everything has changed as a result of this pandemic. Most importantly, I wish you and your family, be they actual family or family of choice, the best this holiday season. Together, I am sure that even what is a seemingly adequate Christmas can and will be magical for us this year. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. Namaste. Thank you all so much. And may you have a very happy and healthy holiday. Our closing song is number 356 from The Grey Hymnal, Come Sing a Song With Me by Carolyn McDade, performed by musicians Brian Kenny, Alina Hemingway, and the Kitsap UU Choir.
Sing and I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find, and I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter tide.
And our chalice extinguishing and closing words are by David Miller Kohlmeyer. Blessed is the dark in which our dreams stir and are revealed. Blessed is the dark of earth where seeds come to life. Blessed are the depths of the ocean where no light shimmers, the womb of all earthly life. Blessed is the light into which we awake, the light that sparkles on the waters, that calls the tree forth from the seed and calls the shadow forth from the tree. May you be blessed by the light. May you be blessed by the darkness.
Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate your service this morning. It's been a pleasure having you with us. And this page is a reminder to everyone that we appreciate the generosity you extend to our offertory recipient, KHOI, and to other initiatives that are important to our community, including our partner church in Tortofalva, Transylvania. And here they are in a not too far ago picture when they were able to gather. Thank you for being with us this morning. And as I bring the screen to gallery view, please know that this